It goes to the Dallas Cowboys, I believe. It's a very similar situation to Kansas City. Joe Montana.
I think that he's had enough talk about the Cowboys being America's team, enough talk about who's the best wide receiver. The last time they played, Michael Irvin had a big day. Jerry Rice did. I think that has been eating on him for a long time.
Well, he admittedly says that he's been thinking about this rematch. The Cowboys have won the toss with their honorary captain. Kofor will kick off. Back deep for Dallas, Kevin Williams and Brock Marion.
I think that's the fun thing about this, Pat, that everyone has been looking forward to this one. You could see this one all year coming. That the Cowboys and the 49ers have always been the two best teams in the NFC all year.
You couldn't ask for anything more. This is going to be played at the highest possible level. The emotion, the championship, the Super Bowl, they are ready. Kofor's kick will be handled by Brock Marion. He gets out to about the 25, where the Cowboys will start there. Troy Aikman. In front of Troy, the offensive line has Tuine Newton, John Giesick starting at center. Kevin Gogan and Eric Williams. A good, big offensive line. Emmitt Smith, Darrell Johnson, Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper, the wide receivers, and Jay Novacek, the tight end. So Aikman brings him out on 1st and 10 from the Dallas 25. Emmitt Smith is the lone setback. That's Novacek on the move, and Aikman will put it up. Outside Novacek. Outside the 30. A gain of about 7. Stopped by John Johnson. Here is the 49er defensive line. Wilson, Washington, the rookie Dana Stubblefield, who's had an outstanding year. The linebackers, Romanowski, Walter, and John Johnson. In the secondary, Griffin, Burton Hanks, Tim McDonald, and Eric Davis. 2nd and 3. Again, the only back behind Aikman is Emmitt Smith. Emmitt tossed for a loss. First hit by Carl Wilson.
That's what the 49er defense was talking about. Not only to get to Emmitt Smith, but get to him in the backfield, get penetration. And on that first play there, you see Carl Wilson get it. Carl Wilson is going to be here. Now, again, you have to keep the defense on this side. He breaks that plane. Now, watch what he does. He just comes right there. He comes to the inside, then starts going back to the outside. There was no inside, nor was there a bounce out.
Romanowski filled it inside. Aikman back to throw. They lost a yard last play. Outside Emmitt Smith. Emmitt still on his feet into 49er territory to their 43. 44 make it. Tim McDonald tripped Emmitt up.
Now that right shoulder sure looked okay because you could see him picking them up with his right hand there. And again, he said last week that it affected his running style, that right separated shoulder. But you watch him move here and watch his running style, that right hand is not affected. You see how he has to keep it out there and move it to balance, move it to keep guys off, and then at the end, move it to hold on to the ball. He did all those things.
A gain of 28 yards on the pass completion from Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Reverse to Harper, who can throw it left-handed for Irvin, incomplete. Merton Hanks back to break it up. That surprised no one.
You know, one thing about Jimmy Johnson, he's always going to have a trick in there, and he's going to have the trick early. Watch, here comes Harper around on the reverse. They pull big Gogan out there. See 66, see Nate Newton. He has pretty good protection. He just throws it as long and as hard as he can. But Michael Irvin doesn't get open. That did not fool Tim McDonald.
Pass a little bit behind, but it was not that bad a throw. 2nd and 10. This time Darrell Johnston lines up in front of Emmitt Smith. Fake to Smith. Aikman is going to run it. Chased by Romanowski. But he gets enough for a first down. Down to the 49er 31.
Troy Aikman's not a big runner, Pat, but if you give him a lane, or you give him an opening, he'll do that just enough to you that you know that he's not a sitting target back there.
You have to honor it. He picked up 12. I wouldn't call that a scramble. I just call it a run.
It was a run, yeah. He just run and then got the first down and then ran out of bounds. Remember the last time against the Giants, he ran twice, and the second time he ran, he pulled a hamstring muscle.
The opening drive of the NFC Championship game. Darrell Houston on the move, and this is Emmitt Smith. Smith finds Tooney and Newton. Stopped by Hanks.
I think on this opening drive, the Cowboys have answered some questions. You know, is one, how is Emmitt Smith, and are they going to have him in there, and is he going to be effective? The answer is so far yes.
Well, they asked Jimmy Johnson earlier this week how healthy Emmitt was, and he said, I think he's going to be healthy. And they asked him again and again and again, and finally he said, hey, he's well. I pronounce him well.
And that's what Emmitt said when we asked him Thursday, how are you? And he said, well, Jimmy Johnson pronounced me well.
He gets the carry. Smith tripped up, tried to cut back. Still got about 3. Carl Wilson tripped him up.
I think with that right shoulder, the thing that the Cowboys were worried about is that not the first hit or the second hit, but Emmitt Smith is hardly ever tackled by the first or second guy, but where he would be bothered by that third and fourth guy coming in there.
3rd and 1, and now the Cowboys will put Kevin Gogan, who normally plays guard, at left offensive end.
And the fans started to chant Moose, but what Moose is going to do is lead. He's going to be the lead blocker.
Emmitt Smith. First down, Dallas. To the 20. Wilson and McDonald.
And that's exactly what he did. We said that here's the Moose. They're yelling, Moose, Moose, Moose. Well, Moose is going to do his lead, and Emmitt Smith is going to get right in behind him. You know that, boom, he finds the hole, just enough soft spot there to get that first down. I don't think that the people here, you know, they're knowledgeable fans here, and they know that the Moose isn't going to get a heck of a lot of carries, but he's going to do a lot of lead blocking, and he will catch some balls.
Buffalo goes to the Super Bowl for the 4th consecutive year. So one of these two will face the Bills. Aikman swings it out to Emmitt Smith. Close to and picks up at first down. You just don't realize how strong Emmitt is.
Well, if you look at him from the waist down, you can see how strong he is. That's where all his power is. I mean, he has big, very strong legs, and he is a powerful man, and he never gives you anything to hit. Hey, this is darn near a perfect drive, isn't it? The way they started out here. Norv Turner, the offensive coordinator, calling the plays, has great mixture, run and pass, and who he's throwing it to.
First and goal from just inside the 10. Lassick is the deep back now. The rookie from Alabama. He gets the fake from Aikman, who rolls and will throw it. Maybe. Aikman steps out at about the 5.
Ted Washington of the 49ers is down on the field, Patty. Something happened. He went down right away.
Let's see what happened to him if we can.
Well, what happens is you'll see why Aikman runs here. You see if we can stop it here. You can see that he's looking here. He wants to cross here, and it's not open yet. So he's going to keep trying to come running out here to the right to try and find an opening. It is there, but he didn't see it. He missed it when it was right about there, and now he's at a point where it's too late to throw it, so he thinks that he can get it as close to the goal line and get it about inside the 5-yard line.
That was Scott Galbraith, the backup or the second tight end for the Cowboys. It was open and waving right at the goal line. Ted Washington grabbed his left leg while he was on the ground, and he's still down and in pain. 0-0.
Off the field. But here, and there you see 79 Williams knocking Ted Washington down. Not immediately clear what it is that's wrong with him. Here's the other angle. And Bobby seems to hyperextend his knee then. When a 300-pound man does that, it hurts.
It seems to, and one of the points we've made along during the course of the season has been the AstroTurf. And when you start fumbling around like that, you have no idea, especially when you weigh 300 plus, how your legs are going to end up on the AstroTurf. It could very well be a knee, a hamstring, it could be any leg joint injury if it's related to an AstroTurf injury.
And Ted Washington, it looks like he will take no further part in the NFC Championship game, sadly for him.
Artie Smith has taken Washington's place. Washington's left leg.
And, you know, the 49ers have a shortage inside. They have Dana Stubblefield and Ted Washington. Artie Smith is a guy who was a rookie who is a defensive end. And so they have to bring him in there now. And he's really not a tackle. He's more of an end.
Not big enough, really, to be playing inside.
And I think that the Cowboys running game, you know, would anyway pick away at that middle of that 49er defense. But from now on, I think they're going to pick away at that all day.
Second and goal from the 5-2 tight end offense for the Cowboys. Here's Emmitt Smith. Touchdown, Cowboys. Gogan.
You know, Pat, there's the guy that you talk about a drive, and Norm Turner knew that he was going to start this game with Emmitt Smith. Emmitt Smith handled the ball 7 times on that drive. 6 runs and 1 pass.
They got the opening kickoff. The extra point by Eddie Murray is good. And Dallas leads San Francisco 7-0 first quarter. At Texas Stadium, the NFC Championship, Dallas 7, San Francisco 0. Murray to kick off. High and short, handled by Dexter Carter. And Carter down at about the 23, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, if you watch the touchdown again, here's Gogan. He weighs about 330. Here's Eric Williams. He wears 330. You just get in behind those guys.
A little scuffle again. Now back to the touchdown.
Well, it starts here with a double team here. They just knocked this. Gogan gets this guy. Gieseck gets his guy. And I don't think anyone touches Emmitt Smith.
Not until he's in the end zone.
Watch, if you got big, powerful guys, watch them. Whap, you just move them off, you turn them, you drive them, and Emmitt Smith can walk that one in there.
The 49ers were called for holding on the kickoff return, so they moved back to inside their own 10, about the 9. It'll be 1st and 10 from there.
And they're a little frustrating. It's tough when the first time you get the football, there's 8 minutes, 33 seconds left in the quarter.
And you're starting at your own 9-yard line.
And you just had a penalty and a fight.
Steve Young throws outside to Ricky Waters. Waters hammered out of bounds. Young, the quarterback, had a great year. In front of him, a smallish but very effective offensive line. Wallace McIntyre, Sapolo, Tam, and Barton. Ricky Waters, Tom Rathman, the 2 backs. Rice and Taylor, the 2 ever dangerous wide receivers. And Brent Jones, another lethal target at tight end. 2nd and 2. Rice is the motion man. Waters. Cut down, lost the ball. They say he was down. Larry Brown up to hit him first.
That was a heck of a hit by Larry Brown. You know, when you run a sweep, those outside guys, those corners have to be what they call the force guy. When you get outside, you got the force right there. There's Larry Brown, 24. That is a heck of a force. Of course, the ball came out after Ricky Waters was down, and the officials, you know, they were pointing to the ground. The ball was dead.
He lost 2. 3rd and 4. Young to throw. Young to run. Doesn't get it. Jimmy Jones.
Again, great coverage out here by Larry Brown. Watch here. This is where Steve Young is trying to throw. He's looking to his left, trying to throw out here to John Taylor. Brown is up on him. You see him? That made Steve Young pump it out there. Brown had the good coverage, and that's what you call a coverage sack.
You can't cover any better than that. Klaus Wilmsmeyer is the 49er punter. They're just not used to punting very much.
You know, we were talking to Jimmy Johnson the other day, and he said he looked at all the 49ers punts all year, and all year, they're 16 games, they've only had 15 punts returned against them.
And there's a penalty on that last play. And the Cowboys, I think, were trying to decide, Jimmy Johnson was, whether to accept or whether to force that punt.
Yeah. I think he wants to find out what the penalty is and how many yards.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 80, offense. Penalty is declined, fourth down.
Personal foul is called against Jerry Rice.
That's the second surprise of Jerry Rice. We're talking in the pregame, he almost started a fight. And you see him up on top. You see him right there, number 80, on the sideline there. And it had to be something that happened after that.
Never did see what he did. Wilmsmeyer. His kick is a line drive, will be handled by Kelvin Williams. Their catch, the Cowboys take over at their own 39. They lead the 49ers 7-0, first quarter.
Well, here we are, the Cowboys about to start their second drive of the game, leading 7-0 on Emmitt Smith's touchdown. Back to the action.
Right across from Giezik. The pitch is back to Emmitt Smith. And Smith gets about 6. And you're so right about his injured shoulder. So far, it doesn't look like he's hampered at all.
And if they keep moving the ball like this and scoring points, maybe the fourth quarter won't be as important as you thought it was earlier. But the 49er defense is just being dominated by this Cowboy offense, especially those offensive line. I mean, they just look like they're too quick and too big and too strong for them. They just knock them off the line.
They just look like they lean on them and they go backward. Smith again. Not much this time. Hit by Mike Walter, who had a big game last week at Candlestick against the Giants.
But you know, the thing the 49ers know is when you play against Emmitt Smith, you not only have to take the onside, the side that he's running to, but you have to take away the backside, because if you leave him a backside, he'll cut back. And that's what Mike Walter has to do. He has to stay behind Emmitt Smith when he goes to the onside for that cutback to the backside.
3rd and 2. Cowboys at their own 47. Aikman has the first down to Emmitt Smith. Not only is he so effective as the ball carrier, he's an excellent pass receiver.
But, you know, he has to find a hole, and you'll see he starts here. He's going to end up catching a ball over here, but he has to find his way through the line to get out here. And then in doing that, they kind of lose him in there. You see him hide in there, then get behind the defensive line coming across. That is a very tough pattern to cover.
The linebacker is assigned the coverage, but he's got to keep up with a very fast, very quick running back, Emmitt Smith. And here he is again. To the 49er 39. Burton Hanks made the stop.
The 49ers are now involving their safeties. We see Burton Hanks on that time. The guy that had the cutback was the safety. He's the free safety. and he was the guy that came up and took the cutback. Now, we know that they also take Tim McDonald, their strong safety, and he's a big run player. So what happens is you start getting those safeties up, and then pretty soon you're going to be open deep to some wide receivers.
2nd and 7. Fake is to Smith this time, and Aikman is going deep for Harper. Through his hands. Would have been a difficult catch, but it could have been caught.
I think the Cowboys saw the same thing. When you see Merton Hanks or Tim McDonald out there, you know that out here on this side that you're going to get man-to-man coverage. And that safety's so concerned with the run that he's not going to be out here with Harper. So you're going to take a shot. You can't get a better shot than that. Harper just he needed about 2 more inches on his fingers there.
Eric Davis, the 49er defensive back, 3rd and 7.
Remember Harper on Eric Davis in last year's championship game.
The 49ers remember that.
Eric Davis remembers.
Pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. Dana Stubblefield is number 94, clapping like he might have gotten his hand on it.
Yeah, we're talking to Dana Stubblefield. He only weighs 280 pounds, which, sounds like a heck of a lot. You guys weigh only 280, but he's playing against guards that weigh 320. And he says he has to use leverage. He has to get up underneath. That time it was John Giesick. Get up underneath, and then when you see the pass, just get your hand up and close the passing lane.
If you know you're not going to get there, that's the next best thing. John Jett to punt in the direction of Dexter Carter. This one is hanging high and into the end zone. So they'll start at the 20. The 49ers will. The first time they began on offense at the 9. Quarter at Texas Stadium, the NFC Championship game. This is the Dallas defensive front 4. Haley, Lett, Casillas, and Tolbert start. But they'll keep some fresh people in there from time to time. Darren Smith, Norton, and Edwards, the linebackers. And the secondary, Kevin Smith and Larry Brown, the corners, Woodson and Everett, 2 safety men. 1st and 10, San Francisco at their own 20. Young back to throw it. Flag on the play already. Steve Young for John Taylor. Shakes 1 tackle. No play, I believe.
But they sure caught Charles Haley on that. They're going to pay attention to him. He's their biggest pass rusher, the Cowboys.
Full start. Number 74, offense. Prior to the snap.
And 74 is right here, Steve Wallace.
First down.
He's the guy who has to block Haley, but watch Haley take it inside and beat him to the inside, and then Ricky Waters is going to meet Haley right there. They're not going to let him get there. But see that little flinch by Wallace? That's what they call. See that thing right there? There's old Ricky Waters knocking him down. But they called the flinch on Wallace, number 74, before the ball was snapped. Now, Steve Wallace has always had problems when he's playing on the road because he has a tough time here in the snap count. He's deaf in one ear.
And it is loud here at Texas Stadium today. But that's what a pass rusher like Haley will do to you. He makes you jump like that.
Haley knows that. Of course, he played with the 49ers for 6 years, and he knows that. And he knows what Wallace can do.
On top of that, it looks like Steve Wallace has got his ear holes in his helmet taped from the inside.
Yeah. And I think that's the ear. I think he's deaf in the left ear, so he just has that thing taped anyway.
Steve Young, outside. The report from the 49ers as Ricky Waters makes the reception on Ted Washington, who was injured earlier. His knee and his ankle are both injured, and he is, as was said to us, in excruciating pain.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things that it's a turf injury, artificial turf, where he was just kind of pressed to the ground by the strength of Eric Williams.
2nd down, about 9. Steve Young back to throw. Rice. 49ers get their first down at the Dallas 37, their own 37, beg your pardon.
Yeah, we were talking about Steve Wallace here and being deaf in that left ear. Charles Haley, the best pass rusher, and what they're going to do is they're always going to help him. They're not going to let Haley beat him. Watch him. See, he takes the outside, and watch here. Ricky Waters comes and chips him off, see? Then knocks him right back into Wallace again. They are not going to let Charles Haley go unmolested without one or two guys against the Steve Young.
First and 10, 49ers. Ricky Waters outside the 40, about the 42. Stopped by Casillas.
Ricky Waters was saying he was talking to his dad this week, and he and his dad figured out the game plan for this week. And what the game plan is to run right at him. As he said, you know, take the wood to him in the first half, then in the second half, bring out his moves, his straight arms, his spinners, do the finesse stuff in the second half. But take it to him in the first half, soften him up, use your moves in the second half.
Bring that full load of wood. Here's Young in the pocket. Gets it to John Taylor, and Taylor swings into Dallas territory to the 40. Run out of bounds by Dixon Edwards, but good yardage by the completion from Young to Taylor.
Now watch, you know, we talked about Charles Haley and what he can do and what Steve Young has to do to throw the ball. See, he gets a little double there. He grabs John Taylor, goes inside of Steve Wallace, and watch him hit Steve Young just as he throws the ball. That's what he was saying the other day. He said, I don't care if he throws it or not. We have to knock Steve Young down and make him know we're here all day.
We have to rattle him. First and 10. 19-yard pickup on that completion. Here's Young to throw it again. They fake a screen pass, and Steve Young has got all kind of room to run. Down inside the Dallas 25. He goes out of bounds. First down, San Francisco. Rathman with a good block.
You know, that was Charles Haley again, Pat. They were trying to throw a screen pass to Mark Logan. Charles Haley stopped his rush and came off on Logan. And then Steve Young was looking out to his left to Logan. Watch Haley right here. He's going to start. Logan's going to come out here and try and get a screen pass. Haley's going to drop off with him. See him rush? Now watch. He sees the screen here. See, and he goes back, and he gets between Young and Logan, so Young had to run to the other side.
And turned it into a 49er first down. Here's Ricky Waters inside the Dallas 20 to about the 18. Haley around his ankles.
You know, and Haley has a bad back that everyone knows about. In fact, he's going to have surgery on that back after the season, but he can just get ready. He said, I can get ready for the 49ers. I don't care about my back. I'm not going to be worried about the back.
Well, everybody knew about the bad back. He told us something the other day I didn't know about. He's got a bad knee to go along with it.
And he has one leg shorter than the other. That's why he walks sideways.
But he can play.
6'3" on one side and 6'4" on the other.
To Rice. At about the 10.
Now, this is a heck of a drive by the 49ers, though, running and passing. Again, they know that they want to get the ball to Jerry Rice and to John Taylor, and that's what they're doing on this drive. Like Mike Shanahan said, that's what we have to do. We have to get the ball out there. The heck with fooling with, you know, tight ends and backs and that stuff. Rice and Taylor are going to have to be the guys that beat him in the passing game today.
5 passes, 5 rushes. That's the kind of balance the 49ers are looking for. It's first and goal. Waters and Rathman. Ricky Waters, who got 5 touchdowns last week, nudges ahead for about 3.
Oh, see, that's what he said. He's just going to take a boom. He's just going to go straight ahead. No finesse. That time he ran right into his own guy. Guy McIntyre's left guard.
Just stopped by for a visit in the San Francisco huddle.
And I would love to have heard what he said when he was in their huddle.
Maybe it wasn't a social visit. Here's Steve Young. Tom Rathman, and Rathman lunges into the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco.
That was a heck of a drive. I mean, you know,
tell you what.
The Cowboys started the game, and they had a great offensive drive. The 49ers came back and answered it with this. Watch Tom Rathman. You think he's going to be a lead blocker. Now, that was Steve Young's second receiver. You see him? He looked out there to the left, kind of pumped it out there, and then came back to Rathman right up the middle.
Kofer for the extra point with Steve Bono holding. Young was 6 out of 6. Kofer's extra point ties it. And in the NFC Championship game, it's 7 apiece. 7-7 the score. The Dallas scoring drive 75 yards. The 49ers scoring drive 80 yards. 4 rushes, 5 passes. Touchdown to Tom Rathman.
Hey, one thing we have a lot of things in this game, but one thing we have is true fullbacks with Tom Rathman on one side, Daryl Johnston to Moose on the other side.
Hofer's kickoff will be handled deep in the end zone, and Kevin Williams will stay there.
Yeah, if we look at the touchdown again, we'll see that Steve Young is going to look to his left. And if we can stop it right here, he's looking right here at Brent Jones, who's covered by Dixon Edwards. Now he has to come off of that, and then he looks right down the middle, and he finds number 44, Tom Rathman. See him come off? He was looking there first. Comes back to Rathman, who looked like he was going on a lead block, and he was wide open in the middle.
Norton finally picked him up, but
and he was wide open in the middle.
Norton finally picked him up, but too late. The 49ers even things at 7. Dallas first down at their own 20. Aikman going right to work. Passes to Harper, complete. First down Dallas. For a report on the physical condition of Ted Washington, let's go down to Jim Gray.
Okay, Pat, thank you very much. The report is not good. Dr. Michael Dillingham of the 49ers tells us that Washington has suffered a fractured left tibia plateau, which is just below the knee. He is immobilized. He's in a splint. He's in excruciating pain. He obviously will not return, so the news is not good. Back upstairs to you, Pat.
Not good indeed. Thank you, Jim. First and 10. Dallas at their own 36. But again, we'll throw it. Incomplete. Irvin coming across the middle, but the 49ers had that one diagnosed well.
Yeah, you want to see, we were talking about Eric Williams. Watch his first move. This right hand comes boom, or right up to the face every time. That's not a bad move. I mean, you got to get your big arms out there, and you see the hand, the right, and then the left. And he gets him right to the face of that guy, and then he moves his head. Then he gets the pass rusher's head turned, and he's probably right now, I think, the toughest tackle to rush against in this league.
Certainly the strongest. Emmitt Smith, second and 10. Emmitt out of bounds at about the 40 by Larry Roberts.
You know, he's so big and so strong that when he just gets his hands on you, I mean, just watch Eric Williams again on this play. He's going to block number 91, Larry Roberts. But when he hits him, I mean, they just kind of go sideways and flop around in circles and stuff, and he doesn't really tee off on things. He just kind of hits you and pushes you, and when he does, you just kind of go backwards and sideways.
It looks like he's not almost effortless, but people come flying away from him.
I think right now he's the best offensive tackle in football.
Third down, Aikman back. Pass caught by Michael Irvin in 49er territory. First down, Cowboys.
Remember last time they played, Michael Irvin had a big day, caught 12 passes. This is the first one he caught today. Here he is out here. You know it's just a matter of time. If you play off him like this and you let him have that much cushion, he's just going to take that little out or come back, and Aikman can throw that thing perfectly. I mean, Aikman has a strong arm, a quick release, all those things that a great quarterback has to have.
First and 10 for Aikman and the Cowboy offensive unit. Fake to Emmitt Smith. Aikman. Novacek. Another first down. Eric Davis, the defender.
Now, both these teams could do this to each other. I mean, they're so fun to watch play offense. I mean, you can go from a Harper on one side to Irvin on the other side to Novacek to Daryl Johnston. Then you can take Emmitt Smith. You can run him. You can throw to him. If you like offensive football, this is one great game.
And this man's team, George Seifert 49ers, have just as many weapons. Aikman is 7 out of 10. Smith. Inside the 35, stopped by Romanowski after a pickup of about 4.
I think the game is starting to calm down emotionally. You know, you play these big games, and the thing you worry about is that you're too fired up. You know, that you're going to do stupid things. And I think maybe in the first quarter, the 49ers were too fired up. I mean, they had some penalties. They had some, you know, things, some miscues. Then offensively, they started going. Defensively, I don't know that their defense is going to be able to stop the Cowboys all day.
Novacek on the move. Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Inside the 49er 20, down to about the 16. First down, Cowboys. Eric Davis knocked him out of bounds.
See all those things a great running back has to do, Pat. I mean, you know, he has to, now he wants a break here, but he has to be able to get open, catch the ball, move, you know, move his legs, move his head, move his body. Then even throughout that, switch the ball from the left hand to the right hand so that the ball is towards the sidelines.
And then he has to take a little breather. And he's replaced by Derek Lassick.
That was one of the things that Jimmy Johnson said he wants to do, is play Emmitt for a whole game, but give him breathers.
Aikman. Incomplete. Intended for Irvin. It was in the basket. It just didn't stay there.
Well, you know, Irvin is so big and so strong that he usually wins these battles. This time, number 25, Eric Davis wins the battle. I mean, Eric Davis gets in there, has that left hand a little behind, maybe gives him a little push, gets that right hand up in front of his face and eyes, and, you know, it's tough out there. I mean, it's tough out there being man-to-man on an island, and you have to do some things. Maybe he did push a little, maybe did grab a little face mask, but if you can't do those things, you can't cover Michael Irvin.
It's impossible. 2nd and 10. Draw play, Emmitt Smith. Emmitt sort of weaves his way down to about the 12. Pickup of 4, perhaps. Stopped by Mike Walter and Dennis Brown.
You know, the Dallas Cowboys only have about 4 running plays, and the one that they run most of the time is that draw or lead draw. There's Norv Turner here. He's the offensive coordinator and probably going to be in the next couple of weeks the head coach of the Washington Redskins, but he was upset because he doesn't like to have 3rd and this long. He hoped to, you know, pick up about 4 or 5 yards and get a 3rd and short or a first down.
3rd and 6. Flag on the play. Aikman fires complete to Irvin. Beg your pardon, this is Harper.
How did he get that ball in there to Harper? It looked like there were 6 or 7 red shirts there. I mean, that was an amazing thing how he zips that. I mean, we know he's quick. He's a great reader. He sees things, but look at those defenders there. I mean, he threw it in front of one and back of one and the side of the other.
Offside, number 94, defense. Penalties decline. First down.
Penalty decline. Look at it again.
Well, Harper's running a slant. Now you see his move to Eric Davis. He took that left hand and just put it right to Davis's face, and he has to hit him right there before it gets to the safety. He has to get him just beyond Davis before he gets to the safety, and then a whole bunch of other guys right in there.
That ball on the way a long time before Harper ever took a look. First and goal at the 4. Daryl Johnson, touchdown. The Cowboys recapture the lead. As you said, John, neither team can stop the other.
No, and that's what Emmitt Smith does, too. You know that when they get down here, they're going to give the ball to Emmitt Smith. You know, here's Emmitt Smith. They're not going to give it to Daryl Johnson. He's the front guy. He's a blocker. See, everyone goes out with Emmitt Smith. They're all over pursuit. Boom, they just hand it to Daryl Johnson, and well, he's right in the end zone.
Murray's extra point is good. 11 plays, 80 yards. And the Cowboys have the lead in the second quarter, 14-7.
Welcome back. It's 14-7. Dallas Cowboys. Daryl Johnston putting them ahead after Emmitt Smith had got their first touchdown. Here's the kickoff, and there's Kenneth Gett, the Sharkman.
Lester Carter started at about the 2, gets to about the 23.
Yeah, Pat, let's watch Nate Newton. You know, we talk about guys that are on all Madden teams. This guy is every year just for the type of things that he can do like this. Down around the goal line, boom, you just take your guy, drive him. Daryl Johnston just sees big old Nate and gets right in behind his backside.
There are a lot of reasons for Nate to be on the All-Madden team.
I think it's kind of what it's all about. I mean, Nate Newton, a guy who's a free agent, came into this league, was cut by the Washington Redskins, backup player, built himself up to a starter, now a Pro Bowl player. That's what it's all about.
And he can cook.
And he can eat.
Mickey Waters. That's about a gain of 3, stopped by Casillas. George Seifert said the Cowboys have the most intimidating special teams in football.
This is Kenneth Gant coming down the field full speed. This is what it's like in the playoffs. I don't know, that's intensity, that's hitting, that's bodies flying, that's everything. That doesn't look like a guy who's wearing glasses the day before.
Looks so innocent.
Yeah, how can you look like that and play like that?
Here's Steve Young, gets it out to Waters. Waters knocked backwards by Dixon Edwards and swarmed around by the rest of the defense led by Ken Norton. Ricky better go back and get another load of wood.
I know, because he was trying to deliver his wood, and Dixon Edwards delivered his wood. I mean, that's the way you want to hit him. I mean, you want to catch him going this way and then knock him back the way they were going before they got to you. That's what Dixon Edwards did. And then at the end, after he hit him and knocked him backwards, he goes in and tries to take his head off. That's what come back there. He's going for his hat right there. What?
A loss of 7. It's 3rd and 13. It is intense. Steve Young, pass incomplete, is picked off by Thomas Everett. Dallas gets the turnover. The interception and the ball at the 25. Taylor, the intended receiver.
The last 2 meetings, this is the thing that has killed the 49ers, are the turnovers. But you see, Thomas Everett's number 27. He's right in the middle of the screen. He's just playing free safety. The ball's thrown to John Taylor. Just tips out of his hand. Everett's sitting back there. That's what a free safety does. You keep everything in front of you. Any tip is your ball. You go for it.
That's that turnover story you were talking about the last 2 games. The 49ers have turned it over 6 times to Dallas's 1. Here's Emmitt Smith again to about the 20. Merton Hanks came up to make the hits.
If you look, the 49ers can always move the ball against the Cowboys. The last 2 games, they've moved it for over 400 yards a game. But the key thing is you got to get the ball back. And when you do, you can't have the turnovers.
The turnovers, inevitably, they kill you. That's been the story in this game. That's the story in almost every game. 2nd and 6. The handoff is to Smith. To about the 15. In the 3rd down situation, stopped by Larry Roberts.
The way the 49er defense, the way they play when Smith runs is to stay patient. Don't pursue, don't over pursue. And that's what they do, is just everyone kind of stay around the line of scrimmage. And if you just watch, Johnston's out here, there's only 1 back in the backfield. See how they all just kind of stay patient, just wait on the line, although they're getting knocked off the line, and then make him commit and then go after him.
3rd and about a yard. The handoff is to Daryl Johnston, who gets the Dallas 1st down.
Daryl Johnston, something he's in the Pro Bowl this year as the fullback. Jokes about it. He didn't even gain 100 yards the whole season as a rusher, but he does all those other things, Pat, that we talk about. He's the guy who catches. He's the guy who blocks. He's the guy that makes Troy Aikman feel very comfortable sitting in the pocket.
And Emmitt Smith. So does this guy, Kevin Gogan.
Big old Gogan, you know, the reason he's out, he's a tight end on short yardage. So after they get the first down, he has to go out for one play before he can come back in as a guard.
He'll be back. Here's Aikman, back to throw it. To Emmett Smith, he'll walk in. Dallas 20. San Francisco 7.
Well, if you were wondering how Emmitt Smith is, or if they're going to use him today, or if he'll be a factor, I don't think you have to wonder anymore.
Nope. They get the turnover, and they get the points as a result of it. Murray for the extra point. With
That's why
Novacek
Jimmy
holding.
Johnson can... And the other thing you like is a good special teams play like they had in Gantz getting ready for, then a turnover. Then after you get the turnover, it's what you do with it. You get 7 points out of it.
High and short, Murray's kickoff handled by Dexter Carter. Cowboys down in a hurry. Carter does well to get it out to about the 23.
Let's watch and see how Emmitt Smith was so open. Here's Emmitt Smith. Here's Jay Novacek. Novacek comes up here. Smith gets right in behind him. Novacek comes out here. All the defense comes out here. And then Smith comes right into the middle, open freight. But if we could just bring it down here and kind of stop it now, we'll see that everyone is here on Novacek and no one is here on Smith. That is an easy one.
First down, San Francisco at their own 23. Young back to throw it. Under pressure. To about the 26. Stopped by Casillas.
See, this is where a game changes. Once you get a turnover, you get a couple touchdowns ahead. Now the defense, and this Cowboy defense is not a dominant defense, but now they're playing downhill. The 49ers have to play uphill. The running game, the time of possession, the ball control, those things that don't make as much sense now. The Cowboys are just going to tee off on them.
Second and 7. Rice split out wide to the right. Taylor left. Batted away. Incomplete. Leon Lett got the big hand up and knocked it down.
Now that's why they call Leon Lett Big Cat. As you watch Big Cat, he's going to be hanging on Steve Young as he throws that ball. He makes a head slap. He has a double team. He takes Jesse Sapolo, pushes him into the backfield, and just as Young throws that ball, watch that left hand come up on Young's neck, and he just slapped him to the ground.
And Haley got his hand up and batted the ball away. Lett was close.
That's what made the ball go sideways was Haley. Haley will disrupt more plays than any guy in this game.
Third and 7. Here's Young back to throw it. Incomplete, intended for Rice. Kevin Smith, the defender, but there are a lot of white jerseys around.
Hey, right now, the Cowboys have the 49ers just where they want them. They got them on their heels. They got them going backwards. And the emotion of this game has been taken over by the Cowboys.
Wilmsmeyer back to punt to Kevin Williams. Good kick. Williams retreats to about the 22. Cowboys will take over with 4:58 left to play in the first half. They lead by 2 touchdowns.
That's what teammates are for, Pat. You just do that in the huddle. They have those timeouts. You got to get the guy warmed up, ready to go.
Stretched out.
Wonder how Michael Irvin knows how to do that. Let's see if it works. See if they hand it to him and see how he runs with that stretch job.
Aikman fakes to him. Over the middle to Emmitt Smith. Stopped by John Johnson, but a pickup of 5 or 6.
You know, George Seifert had a word for the time that Troy Aikman gets. He says he has great separation. In other words, the distance from the line, the defensive line, to the point where he's throwing from, as he said, is probably the biggest separation that any quarterback in the league enjoys. Part of that's Emmitt Smith running, and a big part of it's the offensive line. And the third part is Troy Aikman.
Right. Here's Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt nudges ahead to first down yardage. Stopped by Mike Walter and Bill Romanowski. But he got enough to move the sticks. Excuse me.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's a good sign when you see Emmitt Smith, who we know has a separated right shoulder, when he's picked up, when someone helps him up, and he gives him that right hand and lets him pick him up with that right hand, you have to believe that that right shoulder's okay. Well, I think when they keep the right hand and give you the left hand, then the right shoulder's bad.
We were told he's not wearing any kind of unusual shoulder pads today. So when Jimmy pronounced him well, Jimmy Johnson, he got well. Blitz coming at Aikman, but what a catch by Harper. Harper right off his shoe tops.
And what a throw by Aikman. We're going to see this one. As you say, this is a great catch. I mean, Harper comes out, he works out, he just takes that ball right off the ground. But Troy Aikman was hit by John Johnson just as he threw that ball, and that's probably what made that thing dip. You talk about a great catch. Boy. He caught that with his fingertips. Once 55 Johnson hit him, see, that's why he couldn't get everything on the ball. He went to step, and there was Johnson.
Harper, and the catch give him a first down. This is after Darrell Johnston. Down to the 49er 40. Stopped by Walter. The 49ers have got to get something going defensively here, or this thing's going to be out of their hands.
Now, what they're not doing is they're not doing anything to disrupt the rhythm of the Cowboys. I mean, the Cowboys and Norv Turner calling the plays, Troy Aikman running, the offensive line blocking. They've gotten into a rhythm, and the 49ers have let them stay in that rhythm. And I think you got to come up with a blitz or something different to knock them out.
Second and short, Emmitt Smith. First down, Cowboys, almost to 30. Down to about the 31-yard line, stopped by Dana Hall.
The other thing, if you can't knock them out of their rhythm defensively, then you have to hope they get a penalty or something. But just watch here, you know, we're talking about Williams, just watch this left hand. I mean, he plays like a boxer. I mean, he just comes up and he just hits those guys with those fists, and they go sideways all the time.
2-minute warning.
Well, Norv Turner, the Cowboys offensive
NFC championship. Both teams have all their timeouts remaining. Aikman is going to run. Good slide down to about the 22, close to a first. Looks like he might be a half yard short.
Yeah, you don't know what to do. You know, again, here's Eric Williams, so you want to rush him up the field. Now, in doing that, you're going to give a big lane here to run. If we can just look, this is what Troy Aikman sees. You see Eric Williams taking, we can just stop it now. You see, once he has his guy here, the next guy's there. Look at that big running lane that he has. He has to take that, even though he's not a runner.
3.5 yards, and Johnson will get that. Stopped by Stubblefield.
You know, after a good play, you know, we saw Eric Williams make a lot of these big plays. Then during timeouts, they just water themselves down. But you don't keep it all. Watch, this is how you do it. You just squirt it all over you, and then but you don't keep it. Once you get it in there, you just let it come out. Yeah.
And that's a real 2-minute warning there.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, that's a good one because, you know, sometimes you think you water yourself down, you keep it all in there.
Yeah.
But you don't, because that'll log you down. So you just kind of take it in, and then you just water the rest of the guys down.
Whether they want it or not.
Because when you're a guy like Eric Williams and you weigh about 335 pounds, you don't want to get loggy.
The winner of this game to face the AFC Championship Buffalo Bills. 4th consecutive year for Buffalo.
Congratulations to the Bills. And right now there's just 3 teams. Started out with 28 all going for this. Buffalo Bills know they're in it next week. Of course, the winner of this game will leave tomorrow. If the 49ers win, they're going to leave right from here to go to Atlanta. If the Cowboys win, they'll leave tomorrow to go to Atlanta.
That was a Cowboy timeout, so they have 2 left now. Emmitt Smith behind Aikman. Novacek has a Dallas touchdown. From 19 yards out, Jay Novacek barreled into the end zone.
Again, that's Jay Novacek, that's Troy Aikman, but I'll tell you, this offensive line of the Cowboys is manhandling that 49er defensive line. Look at the time Troy Aikman has to do that. You see big Nate Newton, he just took his guy and didn't even let him get off the line of scrimmage.
Eddie Murray's extra point makes it 28-7. 58 seconds left to play in the first half. Dallas on top.
Stop that middle out there. Troy Aikman is going to have a clean jersey today. And Eric Williams on his side, he just stopped his guy coming it off. Big Nate Newton and Giesing, they took care of Stubblefield. They made him go back the other way. And if you give Aikman time, I mean, he's probably going to kill you anyway.
Right.
But if you give him time, he's going to commit surgery on you.
Which is just what he's done to the 49ers so far. 28-7, Dallas leading. Murray set to kick it off. Will follow Gant down again. Line drive kickoff in the direction of Dexter Carter, who's going to leave it in the end zone. No return. The 49ers have got some work ahead of them. Look at the time of possession and yards so far. They just haven't had the ball.
No, and then when they do get it, the Dallas Cowboy defense has really been going after Steve Young. And I think as this score mounts like this for the Cowboys, I think the pressure is going to mount on Steve Young. Those last two games of the regular season, maybe they didn't mean anything, but the Houston Oilers and the Philadelphia Eagles both went after him.
That's Waters in motion and Young back to throw. He's going to have to throw on just about every down from now on. Logan out of the backfield, outside to about the 28, stopped by Norton.
Yeah, the other thing, we see no huddle here, but the other thing the Cowboy defense has done is contain Steve Young well, because he hasn't been able to run yet either.
Young has to bring it down and tried to run. Tripped up by Jeff Coat. Young calls the timeout. The veteran Jim Jeffcoat around Steve Young's ankles. 28-7, Dallas over the 49ers.
Bob, Steve Young calling a timeout. They're obviously trying to get something done.
Cowboys in this first half.
Third down. Logan will get the 49er first down with the clock continues to run. Don't forget to stay with us at the half. Coming up, Greg Terry and Matt Millen with their thoughts about the first half. Wonder what George Seifert's thoughts are about the first half.
Well, you know that you're going to have one more half of football in this season if you don't win. So the thing that you always talk about, you know, there's not a lot of ranting and raving. You got to think about how you can get back in and, one, knock them out of rhythm and get a rhythm for yourself. And you always think when you're behind like this, let's go out and play it like it's nothing. I mean, we can't play like we're way behind and, you know, we have a half to play, but let's start and build a foundation for the second half and do to them in the second half what they did to us in the first half.
Well, they have the weapons to do it, but Jimmy Johnson is not about to let down in any fashion.
Well, and Troy Aikman is hot. I mean, you talk about a hot player and a hot quarterback. There's no hotter player in the NFL right now than Troy Aikman.
4 wide receivers for the 49ers. Beach and Turner join the regular 2. Good coverage again on Rice. Good pressure by Jimmy Jones on Steve Young.
These corners of the Cowboys have stepped up. You know, we saw Larry Brown on the other side. Here it is, Kevin Smith. You see, he just gives him a bump. He's just step for step, stride for stride, all the way down the field with Jerry Rice. That's who they try and get the big play to. Jimmy Jones makes him throw it at the time he did and maybe take a little off it, but that was still good coverage by Kevin Smith.
2nd and 10 with 19 seconds left in the first half. Three-man rush by Dallas. Steve Young throws out of bounds. Jerry Rice made the reception, goes up under the bench. But he's okay.
You know, that one doesn't go. That was still a heck of a catch.
Yeah. Out of bounds, whatever. It's still a heck of a catch.
But, you know, we talk about Larry Brown, and he's really come up big in his first half. You see, he got between Jerry Rice and Steve Young. And the